Did you know that millennials don't like being called millennials? Of course you did. Now, if someone told you that they'd give you $54,000 to determine this, what would you do? Well, you'd pocket the money, do a half-assed job, and slap together a shitty report, right? Of course you would. Probably because you're a lazy millennial. But that seems to be what an organization called Corporate Research Associates Incorporated did. In March, the company did a survey of 100 people ages 16 to 30. 100 people! The same number of people they surveyed to figure out the fucking answers for Family Feud, which I don't think costs them $54K, but if I ever meet fucking Steve Harvey, I'll ask him what that runs. Of course, I don't know the full extent of the survey, but what's being reported is a one-page infographic called Understanding and Attracting Millennials, and a couple little tidbits of info, including the fact that millennials find the term millennial to be derogatory and degrading. And the infographic is pretty fucking funny too. Based on the article I read from the National Post, this study was commissioned by the government to figure out how to communicate with millennials, that is, 16 to 30-year-olds, and assess marketing concepts as it relates to them. So, what did we learn from 100 people? Well, millennials want to be heard. No. Are you fucking serious? Really? This is shocking. Every other generation actually just wanted to be told to shut the fuck up and not have any of their ideas valued. They're socially responsible. No other generation will add a special filter to their Facebook profile to let people know that they care about the environment like a group of people who contribute to the massive e-waste problem by buying a new phone every fucking year and throwing out the old one. They want to actively participate. They're entrepreneurial, and they want experiences that take them outside of their comfort zone. This just describes like every fucking group of people ever. Baby boomers and Gen X were clearly entrepreneurial. Who the fuck do you think owns all these businesses that want young people to work for minimum wage? Socially responsible? Name me a fucking generation that didn't protest or that hasn't had groups of people complaining about the environment or some other social issue. Hippies aren't new, and the Kyoto Accord was likely put together by a bunch of old fucks. Experiences that take them outside of their comfort zone? Everyone claims to want this. I want to experience new and different things, says the same people who make New Year's resolutions to lose 30 pounds and end up gaining 20 because it turns out the couch zone is more comfortable than the treadmill zone. In fact, except for tech natives, I would guarantee this describes every group of 100 16 to 30-year-olds that you would survey in every single era since the 1900s, at the very least, and even an argument could be made for the tech natives part. Every generation's kids would grow up still excited about and quickly adapting to whatever cutting-edge technology was available at the time. And the rest of this, I don't even know what the fuck it is, but it looks like a parody of a report. Hey, let's draw a box, and then write thinking on the inside of the box, and outside of the box on the outside of the box. Fucking genius. I have to assume this isn't all they got for their money. It can't be. Otherwise, as an entrepreneurial millennial who grew up as a tech native that wants to actively participate, I should start my own research firm. Apparently, I'm in the wrong fucking business. This was commissioned in March and not reported on until October. Does that mean it took them 6 to 7 months to put this together? If so, fuck me. Dear Canadian government, please give me $54,000 to call 100 people. I'll have the report for you in a week, and you can pay me $54,000 more the next week to find out if 100 people would like lower taxes but better schools and healthcare. I wonder. So why don't millennials like being called millennials? Participants said it leads to stereotypes about, quote, kids not working, sponging off their parents, being lazy, having no ambition, and being a bad generation. Which, you know, I'm sure I've talked shit about kids in my videos before. In fact, I know I have. But every era's adults hate their fucking kids. I guarantee that in the 50s, there were 30 and 40-year-olds who were like, fuck these 18-year-old kids today. They care more about cruising in their car and picking up girls to go for malts and buying the new Buddy Holly and Elvis records than they do about getting a job. Me? I was already working in a factory and getting drafted to go to war when I was their age. every generation thinks the one after them is lazy and the one before them fucked things up and they gotta clean up after their mess. But really, millennials probably don't like being called millennials because no one can fucking agree on what a millennial is. Apparently, I'm a fucking millennial. But wait, how can I be a millennial? I was born in '81. I thought 12-year-olds were millennials. It's like fucking 90s kids. What's a 90s kid? Some kid born in like 96? Or kids born in the 80s who didn't spend most of the 90s pissing their pants? What's a millennial? People who grew up at the turn of the millennium, or people born on or after the millennium? Who's a millennial? Why, whoever you don't like is one, because yes, it does have a negative connotation, just like calling people Gen Xers likely did when baby boomers would talk shit about them. So at the end of all this, did the government learn how you communicate with millennials? If not, let me help them out. For free, no less. You do it the same way that you communicate with the government. Slowly, and without using too many big words so they don't get confused. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get to work on my 8-month study about whether or not wasteful government bureaucrats who piss away money on worthless studies to tell them shit they'd already know if they weren't completely incompetent like to be called wasteful government bureaucrats who piss away money on worthless studies to tell them shit they'd already know if they weren't completely incompetent.